What's up guys, my name is Jragon and welcome back to some Satisfactory. Now in the last episode we set up this giant steel production factory which makes over 720 steel per minute, meaning we can get started on a lot of the phase 2 space elevator parts. Now, first things first, there's quite a bit of work left to do in order to actually get the space elevator phase 2 complete. We have none of the parts that we need currently. So we do have quite a lot of work ahead of us. However, with the steel already set up this large, it means that the automated wiring and the versatile framework will be a lot easier to do. The only one that might be a little bit of an issue is all of the smart plating. Because of how my rotor setup is, I am only making 4 per minute, and I do not think I have built up enough to even get started on all of the smart plating we're going to need. So I'm thinking about resetting up all of that with way more rotors per minute in mind, although we will have to see what happens. But of course, before we get too far into it, if you guys do end up enjoying today's episode of Satisfactory, then do let me know down in the comments below, and make sure to hit the subscribe button, as it always does help me out a ton. Now, I believe I said in the last episode that the power production definitely was not enough to handle both this factory and all of the steel production that we made. However, I have since upgraded it, and I doubled up how many of the coal generators we have. So now we have a nice lovely production of 1200 megawatts of power. So if we plug this back on in, you can see that this does jump up pretty high to around 300. However, the power now will have plenty of leeway in order to handle all of this. So we can get all of these reinforced iron plates back up and running, as well as all of these rotors. The way I want to set up better rotor production is through alternate recipes. Now on my separate monitor, I do have a nice little interactive map of all of the drop pods that we can go get. So I'm going to be running through a few things and trying to get as many of these drop pods as possible. So there's quite a few drop pods that I can see that are way up there on the top of this cliff right above us. I can actually see one right up there, and I know I haven't gotten that one yet, so we can definitely go right up to that guy right there and maybe open it up. Let me see what that one takes. Okay, we're not going to be able to open up that one. It takes 15 electromagnetic control rods, which I definitely can't make. But there's quite a few other drop pods up there that we can open up. So I'll be going through all of them and seeing what exactly I'll need. And I'll be running up there and opening up all of them. Alright, back at base, and that took quite a little bit. I've already been recording for an hour, basically, so pretty much 1 hour later, and this is everything we got. We managed to pick up 15 of the hard drives, which I'd say is pretty good in an hour, honestly. That is not bad. That is a hard drive, I believe, every 4 minutes. Not bad in the slightest. And we got a ton of different resources that we definitely could use, but not at the moment. Things like crystal oscillators, turbo motors, cooling systems, a lot of heavy modular frames, computers, circuit boards, fused modular frames, and just a bunch of other stuff with like aluminum and stuff that I can use probably later on. So I am definitely going to take all of that. I also managed to pick up a few Mercer spheres because we definitely are going to want those for the new stuff that they added. So I got quite the work cut out ahead of me to research all of these, but I'm going to be doing that over time just because I have 15 of them. That's going to take me 150 minutes to research all of that. Probably won't be too hard to do, I imagine. We're just going to wait for all of that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to get started on researching these things right now. I'm just going to start setting them up, putting them in the MAM, doing all that good stuff. Alright, so while we wait for this first one to get researched, what I want to do is tear down this entire factory and rebuild it from the ground up, because we now have miner Mark IIs, and we have 2 pure iron nodes over here, and we can finally cut off copper production from being like this and finally use it just to generate a lot of things that we're going to need later on, like a few things of wire, cable, as well as copper sheets for the coal power plant and whatnot. And to get started, all we're going to do is we're just going to cut off these 2 conveyor belts. So we're just going to get started by tearing everything down, which is going to take quite a little bit of time, but I imagine this shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so I got everything cleaned up. I have everything stored now in all of these guys right here. And I'm hoping this is enough space to build a way better iron production facility. But what I'm thinking about doing is splitting this into 2 separate kind of buildings. Each building will have their own iron nodes, so this one over here will be for the reinforced iron plates, and this one over here will be for the rotors, which should be pretty simple. So the iron plates will just kind of go over there, the rotors will just kind of stay in this main central area, which we should have enough space for rotor production in here, but it does mean we are going to have to set up Caterium, which is way over there, which shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so I believe this will be a good enough starting for all of the reinforced iron plates. This is all going to be for that, and we'll probably build a second floor because this first floor will actually entirely be for logistics. And by doing this, I believe I'll make this a lot more permanent of a building, just because I don't think I'll want to remove all of this again. Probably until I need way more later on for maybe some of the space elevator projects, we will see. Alright, so we have a decent start to the building that we are going to make. So far, everything is going pretty good. The miner is directly inputting into there, and you can see it goes up and above and then around where we are going to be walking through, so that is good. And we got ourselves a nice little logistics floor for everything we're going to do. There is another one of our hard drives done in research, so we're going to set up another one right into here. There is all of the smelting done and set up. Alright. And we have 10 of these hard drives left, so I'm actually going to save those, but that does mean we do have 5 of these right now to work with. Now I'm only going to be showing you guys the ones that I am going to take, so we'll see what I can get out of this. Alright, so not the greatest at the moment. I do need to get better rotor recipes. I guess we'll just stick with the rotors that we have for the base game, which solely rely on only iron. So this should be fine. Now comes the slightly difficult part where we need to figure out how to hook up 8 different assemblers, all in the same way in not the biggest platform. Alright, and there is all of the assemblers all hooked up. The only thing we are missing now is all of the Caterium for the wire, which should be relatively easy to do. But as you can tell, everything is working how it's supposed to. Everything is going to get backed up here in a moment, which is good enough for me. It looks like everything over here already is. So all I'm going to do first is set up everything for the Caterium wire to be ready to go all the way down to here, which should be relatively easy. And there we go, just like that, everything is set up and ready to go. All I need to do is input Caterium to this one conveyor thing right here, and that is it. Everything should start working automatically after that. So we're going to go get that Caterium set up and ready to go, which should be really, really easy. And that should be all the Caterium that we're going to need. That is a pure node over there, so we should not need any more than that. And we should be producing about 40 reinforced iron plates a minute. It's an odd number because it's 5.625 times 8. So yeah, 45 a minute. That is not bad in the slightest. Now things are going to back up as well, besides the Caterium. So we're gonna have plenty of leftover iron ingots and whatnot, and we should see everything hopefully working how it's supposed to. There we go. Now that's getting wire, so everything should be up and running. We just kind of gotta wait for things to back up a little bit, which shouldn't take too long. And if we come down to this industrial storage container, we can see that, yeah, we have already produced a little bit. I only put in about 100 in there just to see what would happen, but this is going pretty good. And yeah, there you go. As we can tell, tons and tons of iron plates being made per minute, and there'll be a little gap in between them every so often. So not bad in the slightest. I will definitely take that. However, I am unfortunately all out of time for the moment, so in the next episode we will definitely take care of the rotors, which should not be that hard at all. And we're only using one of the iron nodes that we have over here to do all of it. So we definitely have quite a bit of production already, and we can easily use that other one for rotors, which we will definitely be doing next episode. And we'll be working on the phase 2 space elevator parts, which should be pretty fun as well. But that is going to be it from me. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, do be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, as it does help me out a ton. And if you guys have any ideas and or suggestions for things I should do differently and or just build in general, then do let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, depending on where you are. And I will talk to you all later.